How's the complete market of facial cosmetics in India? Can doctors actually, who are practicing in this niche, can they really make good amount of money, kind of business, or else there is a cutthroat competition out there?
I think the techie should give an answer to that.
Yeah.
He would be a better person to
Of
I mean,
answer
course.
you see the pearls in her neck.
Answers it all. All right, welcome to our podcast from Grow Medico. And today, in this very first podcast, we have a special duo guest, and they are from Stella Aesthetics. Please welcome Dr. Sapnna Vaderra and Jaisingh Gupta on our podcast.
Thanks, Saurabh.
Thank you,
Lovely being here.
Vishal. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We four generally sit on a Google Meet like this
Right.
to discuss some marketing strategies. Now, today, how do you feel to be our first guest on Grow Medico Podcast?
First of all, I mean, I'm surprised to be your first guest. I'm actually humbled. Thank you so much for having us and being the first guest. I think there's a lot of onus on us also. It's a responsible job, man. So looking forward to it, definitely.
Yeah, looking forward to set the bar high for the people who are going to come after us, and it really feels good. Thank you so much for inviting us and keeping that in mind. That you thought it like that we could be your first guest. So thank you so much.
And I first of all want to say, congratulations to you and Saurabh both. I'm a big fan of you guys. I mean, you guys are awesome. Whenever we're talking about marketing, as you were saying, we discuss marketing strategies and stuff like that for Stellar Aesthetics. I mean, I've always seen that you're always on point. So, good to go, man. Amazing.
Feelings are deeply reciprocated. Even we are a fan of you guys because you're doing it very well. I mean, you're just doing very good in your market, in your particular industry. I just want to know about the journey of Sapnna to Dr. Sapnna.
Before that, can I ask you a question? I want to know about Growth Medico first.
Yeah, basically,
What is it and how come you have invited us? Tell us a little bit about that. Then I'll tell about myself.
Okay, before we are operating under the brand called Buzz Advertise. So we have that brand. So that time we work with different niches. So we have worked with around 105 brands in different industries in this digital marketing field. So right now what happened, we decided to cater healthcare industry only. So we need a new brand for that. We need a new name for that so that it can just resonates with that particular industry. So that's why we help medicos to grow.
There's a lot of potential in medico marketing and with doctors and businesses growing.
Yes. The thing is, in healthcare industry, people are not that aware.
Like I see that happening with all the industries that, not every industry has an understanding of what they should do for their marketing, how they should actually get new leads, get new customers in. They don't have much of an idea. And doctors especially, I mean, since they're so focused, on their profession, that all of these stuff, which actually runs their practice, runs their business, they're actually not quite aware of it. So, I'm glad to see someone like you out there, making it happen for the doctors, man.
Basically, doctors are more into word of mouth. But right now in this era, the impact of social media, then that word of mouth becomes word of mouse. So it's really must for them to go online, at least to show the expertise, educate more and more people, spread awareness, and ultimately they will win the market.
I totally agree.
That's true.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So now it's your turn to answer the question.
Tell me, what was the question again?
So the question is basically, I want to know the journey of Sapnna to Dr. Sapnna Vaderra.
Okay, I basically belong to this place called as Durg, which is in Chhattisgarh. Then I finished my graduation from Wardha. After that, I did my post-graduation in oral and maxillofacial surgery from Nagpur. That is where I finished my post-graduation. So during my post-graduation days, from the initial days only, I was very much interested in learning, getting into cosmetology. That was the only thought always running in my mind 24/7. But I was not very much aware that how will I get into this field? Where will I learn things? There were a lot of other things which I could learn. Like we used to learn head and neck trauma. We used to have postings where we used to deal with a lot of head and neck cancer patients. there were multiple things which were going on in the branch because it's related to head and neck surgery. So everything about the neck outside the brain was our domain, and we saw a lot of patients. But then somehow my mind was always towards getting into cosmetology. And then I ended up coming to Mumbai, where I was lucky to get trained in cosmetics. I worked at a center. I did my fellowship in facial cosmetics, facial aesthetics. I learned about hair transplantation. And so I just followed what my name says, Sapna. I just followed my dreams. I just was chasing my dream. And that's the journey. That's all about it.
And Sapna sach ho gaya.
I don't know if it's such hua hai. I'm still trying to. It's a everyday process.
But you're doing really good in your industry. And Jay, the question for you, same. Are you a born techie or you become techie?
I don't know.
After you did your graduation and all that thing.
No, I mean, this is way before graduation. I mean, I was in school when I was a techie, when I became a techie. I guess you can say that it was a childhood passion that I had. There is this book that my dad brought me, which was Junior Science Encyclopedia. It's still one of my favorite books. That really got me into it. And then as I started to grow, I got my first computer when I was 13 or 14, something like that. And when I got my first computer, I mean, I was fascinated. I would break it every day, and the engineer would come and then he would repair it. And finally, one day he's like, I give up. I'd rather teach you to seek then you can do it on your own. I don't have to come every day. It was also the era of the internet was just coming up. It was 1999, so it was just coming up, and we had just got internet 4 years back. BSNL had just come up, so we used to have those dial-up connections, and I would sit all night and I would be on these forums and stuff like that, talking to techies, talking to different people from around the world about technology, about stuff, and I would be learning from them. A lot of those people actually turned out to be billionaires now. Those are the people I actually learned from. I was a kid back then, and so that's how I began. And by the age of about 15 or so, I really got into technology in a big way. I was working with a lot of different engineers, different companies, doing a lot of different kind of work. I also did cybersecurity related projects a few years down the line. And then I also have been part of different businesses or different parts of technology. So I've been a part of security. I've been part of cyber security. I've been part of physical security, electronic security, surveillance, enterprise solutions, ERP solutions, and all of that. And along the way, I think I learned it along the way. So, and presently also, I call myself a perpetual student. I'm still a student. I'm still learning. So it's like that.
All right. So we have the dynamic duo of Stella Aesthetic. And as we have a great tech guru, जिनको सपने भी कोड्स के आते हैं, to be more precise, Mr. Jay Gupta, the CEO at N-Star Private Limited, AI researcher, cybersecurity expert, speaker, and trainer. By the way, both of them are amazing trainers and, of course, speakers. So today we are experiencing a lot of valuable content and valuable bomb in this amazing podcast. Mr. Jay, I want to ask you something. Right now, digital media is growing like anything, and there are tons of tools in the market. People are promoting it like anything. And you being the curator, the developer of so many different tools and applications, and even right now, you have some different screens where some more codes are still running, and in a different screen, this complete podcast is... This complete podcast is running. So what exactly you would like to share regarding the tools, the applications, the AI which is developing and being used in the medical fraternity to for the betterment of medical fraternity, and of course by providing best service or connecting to good people? There are so many different spectrums right now. What would you like to tell about it?
I think the tech revolution that you and I have been a part of for a while now, I think it's just hitting the medical field, which is actually great. The medical fraternity has always been a slow adapter of technology. And for good reason, because they are mostly dealing with life-threatening situations, so they cannot really just go and adopt something which which may or may not work. They have to be absolutely sure that something is working. And that's the general attitude that you will see across the board with the entire medical fraternity, be it pharmaceuticals, be it the hospitals, be it doctors, be it any one of them. Now, when it comes to AI and my kind of work, there is amazing strides that are being made. I have been lucky enough to be part of certain AI researches. For example, I was a part of one particular technology that was being developed that is for cancer detection, which is for early detection of cancer. That is something that is going on. Then I know certain people who are working on robotic surgery, AI assisted surgery, and all of those kind of things which are now being developed presently. So in the next 5 or so years, you're going to be seeing them in the medical field. You're going to be seeing them out there. Maybe in sometime in the future, you're going to be probably operated by a robot that is being controlled by an artificial intelligence. And you're going to be probably going to a diagnostic center that is going to have no humans and just an AI just giving out your report. These are the things that are happening in the medical field.
So we are just connecting the dots in this complete podcast, asking a numerous amount of questions and a lot of technicalities, also a lot of myths, a lot of information. Yeah, because
Hit me.
because there are so many people out there have different kind of questions, maybe different patients out there, different doctors out there. So we are just connecting this complete dots in this podcast, and by connecting, we even want to know more about you. How did the complete duo happen? How did you both decide let's come together, let's make a Stella Aesthetic, and let's get things started?
What happened, like I was doing my stuff, I was working my things, and but kaisa hota hai na, like there's always, like, even if you're cooking dal, there's always that there's this slight thing which you add, and then it enhances the flavor of the complete dish. So I think that's what happened, and that's how Stella was created, because like I have always been interested in academic. So when I was doing my post-graduation also, I would sit with a bunch of students and I would just teach them, the budding doctors who were there for their batches, etc. I would just get hold of them and I would just start teaching them anything which whatever they wanted to learn. So there was this kida inside me, and I wanted to teach more and more students and cosmetics, because that's my field. And then we knew each other somehow through some networking platforms, etc. We came across each other, and he saw that what I am looking for, and it so happened that he was able to give me all the solutions for my problems. I would take it in that manner. That's how we thought that we can create something wonderful, which is not there currently. And that's how I think Stella was born, and Jay would be able to tell better and more about it, I feel.
So I have always been interested in healthcare. I mean, it's one of the big fives, right? So healthcare is something that I have very, very keenly interested in. But, coming from a different educational background, that's something that's not very easy for us people, for us outsiders to enter into. When I saw the kind of work that Sapnna was doing, I saw the kind of different things that she was doing. She was also training. And I also come from a training background. I also have training programs for programmers and stuff like that. So out there, we had a lot of synergy. I felt that this was a great opportunity for all of us, where a solution needs to be created for the cosmetics industry. Because at the time when we were thinking about it, it was still budding. There were not many solutions available to the regular person to get their cosmetic treatments done. Even the different kind of doctors that are required for doing this was not there. Right, training was not available for doctors. So where I saw all of these problems, being present in the industry, and I saw that maybe together we could come up with a solution. There were a lot of back and forth between us in terms of discussions, in terms of conversations, that sort of led to what presently is Stella Aesthetics, and it's still going on.
Lovely. And we really liked your journey, and of course the vibe matched, so of course the complete thing happened, and now landed up in this amazing
one of the weird things, actually, when we met, we didn't know. I mean, we come from the same hometown.
Yeah.
That's something that's rare in Mumbai, especially me. I mean, I've been here since I was a child. Though my hometown is different, but I've never met anybody else from my hometown. So having met someone from my hometown, definitely it was like, wow, Amazing.
Okay, Dr. Sapnna, as Jay said that you were already doing amazing things, and that's how you guys are think of collaboration. What I observe, you have 4,724 followers on Instagram. Let me check. 2,400 plus followers on LinkedIn, 9,200 followers on Facebook. Do you really think it will help you to grow in your professional career?
Don't you think? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was always interested in social media, but not in a way where like I'm not too much interested in what is going on with others. But yeah, I like displaying the kind of work that I'm doing, and it helps. It gives you leverage that is very, very important in today's era. I feel that that is like that should be mandatory, and that everyone who is willing, because आज के डेट में see this applies very well that जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. So if you are doing certain kind of work, if you are into trainings, if you have some skill which you want people to learn from you, personally, I like teaching. I love teaching. It gives me peace. It gives me some kind of satisfaction. So if you want to do that, you need people to know that you are into that thing, right? You are teaching. So of course, this is one of a very important medium for people to know, because nowadays the budding doctors and everyone, they are more so on Instagram than anything else. So I feel that is very, very important.
I think I'd like to add to that is like whenever we are talking about our trainings to any other doctor, I never have to, explain who Dr. Sapnna is.
Mm-hmm.
I think social media has a very big role to play in that. And that is something that I have seen. If you have some skill set, you should be able to showcase it, because that's when people are going to be able to see that and realize that that's what you do. That's the kind of, platform that social media gives you, to be able to showcase what you do.
And I think I learned this very early in my life, because when I was doing my post-graduation, so we used to have this quota of finishing certain amount of presentations that we had to do in our 3 years post-graduation time. And I got a topic which was the role of social media in oral and maxillofacial surgery. That was my presentation topic. Out of 15 presentation, I had to make one.
Oh.
So I was like, इसमें मैं करूँ क्या? At that time I was blank. I had no idea what all things are there in social media. So I did an entire research about what are the social media platforms that could be, and what is the role. So I went through the research articles, but then I did a lot of study that what role could be there, because I had a 1 hour presentation. I was like, मैं बोलूँगी क्या, like role of social media, because all these things I think have increased tremendously after COVID. But then this was way back in 2014, 15, I think I'm talking about, like 7-8 years back. So I was like, what do I do? And I went through the entire articles and everything which were published about the role of social media. So I gathered a lot of points which I think I'm still following. And that has contributed a lot. So I believe in this point as well, in everything in life, not just in surgeries or during patients or during trainings, but in all aspects of my life, I believe that आपको क्या करना है, इससे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी ये जानना है कि आपको क्या नहीं करना है. So, I always get hold of those points as well. So apart from doing all the positive things which are important, I also skip the negative things, which is even the part of my social media,
I wanted to ask you this question because nowadays people are educating themselves via social media also. So whenever you share your content, so people do check out, people do follow, people do share. But what about people who are actually kind of trollers, who are, giving some kind of different kind of comment? There are some different people who want to have consultation directly in the DM, and 10 different kind of things, right? Apart from your actual physical consultation training and the complete life, you have a different social life to actually tackle that also. How do you do that?
See, now this is something which is very internalized within me, that I have learned over the period of time. I believe a lot in energies and vibes and everything, but a little bit old school that way. But yeah, I believe in that. So what I have learned over the past couple of years with my experience, my personal experience with life, if I interact also with someone which is unnecessary interaction, it dilutes my energy. It hampers my energy, which would include maybe my work, my patients, my personal life. So I just don't interact with such people. I just I don't initiate a conversation, or I don't reply as well. I would only reply which is a true conversation, which is genuine, coming from some doctor who is maybe inquiring for something, or coming from some patient. I would just direct them to the required path which is there. for consultation. You can just formulate a pre-made templates which you or your team can just put it, and that's it. I just don't interact unnecessarily. That's my way to deal with it.
One more thing I want to ask, and I'm literally amazed by knowing the fact that you are a craniomaxillofacial surgeon.
Right.
Second, you are a facial cosmetic trainer.
Right.
The third thing, you are managing social media so well. So how you get so much of time? Everyone have 24 hours.
Even getting the work done from your team, even managing
Yeah.
stuff, you have 10 different things. We want to actually hack in how actually doctors program, right?
Exactly.
My way of programming is a little unconventional way compared to the routine doctors. I am a little offset in that, because at times when I'm working, like I'm completely working, then like koi aur dhyan nahi hota hai kuch, but then when I'm not working, I can just shut off the things for a week also. I plan is that I switch it that way, that I can take a leisure time whenever I want to take.
Mhm.
So I'm slowly I'm trying to convert myself into that. And the branch which I am in, that is aesthetics and cosmetology, gives me that leverage, that because there are not usually the patients which are emergency patients. You can schedule the appointment and you can get a planned treatment for them. Most of the things are mostly on appointment basis, so that's how it gives me an advantage, where I have a certain regulator which I can use as a control.
Okay. How's the complete market of facial cosmetics in India? Can doctors actually, who are practicing in this niche, can they really make good amount of money, kind of business, or else there is a cutthroat competition out there?
I think the techie should give an answer to that.
Yeah.
He would be a better person to
Of
I mean,
answer
course.
that.
you see the pearls in her neck.
Answers it all. Yeah, Jay.
I think I think it's a budding still a budding field. There is a lot of room. I mean, we are a country of 150 crore people. I mean, that's one of the largest populations ever, right? So, I mean, in the history of the world, I think that's probably the largest population that has ever lived in a country. So, considering that, I think there is a lot of room for it to grow. I think we can surpass the cosmetology that is being practiced in South Korea, which is one of the largest in terms of cosmetology practitioners. Japan, China, US, we can surpass all of them because of a couple of factors. One is that beauty is given a lot of importance in India for some of the good reasons and some bad reasons as well. But whatever be the reasons, there is a lot of room out here for the growth of cosmetology. First of all, I mean, if you ask any woman, I mean, some of you are married. If you're married, you would know that your wives, how much they spend in their parlors, and if you just see that much, that is still billions worth of business that is happening every year, just in an informal business line, which is parlors and so on and so forth. Medical cosmetology, now that is something that up until very recently was only limited to celebrities, actors, models, and so on and so forth. A lot of the patients that we see out here in Stellar Aesthetics, boys, young boys who are losing hair, they come to us because it's a big confidence booster when you have hair. When you don't have hair, it almost destroys your entire confidence, especially for boys, especially for men. If a woman comes, she has a lot of acne marks or acne or something of that sort, it's again a big confidence destroyer. So these are things that can be very easily be solved. All we need is that we require a standardized way of providing that treatment, making it accessible, making it available. That's all that's required. So yes, definitely there's a lot of room to make, because there is enough number of patients wherever you go. I've seen small towns, I've seen big cities, everywhere. There's enough room for everyone.
So what do you think, what is the role of Stellar Aesthetics in organizing this particular industry in India? What is the role of Stellar Aesthetics? I want to know that.
The idea of Stellar Aesthetics came, we thought of only focusing on certain areas of cosmetology and all of that. As we started to have that conversation, we realized that there are many concerns that people have, and we wanted to cater to all of them. So we sort of organized our own mind as to what we want to cater to. So as I was saying, the first problem that we wanted to solve was how do we make this accessible for a regular person to be able to come to a clinic, to be able to get a procedure done, get a consultation, get an understanding of what they need, what they might not even need, even if they have certain inhibitions or understanding of their own thing, how they can actually get a good consultation going. That was the first thing. Second thing, making it easy for them to choose the procedures that they want to go after. So we sort of focused on making sure that jitna bhi ho sake, we will make it non-invasive, minimally invasive, taki it becomes easier for most of the people to undergo those procedures, to accept those procedures, and also be able to see the results quickly without having to go under the knife. Third thing that we saw was that when we wanted to give those services, we realized that there are not enough number of specialized or trained people available, trained doctors available. We needed to standardize. We actually created some of the standards that we follow within our organization. We created those standards so that we can give those training to the doctors, and we can have those standards followed in their own practice as well. So we did that. We created those programs with the help of Dr. Sapnna and a couple of other doctors that we are involved with. We created and we designed those kind of programs that doctors can easily incorporate in their existing practice, so that it is not very hard for them to actually take this, go back and actually start practicing this. So we actually did that. Then what we realized was that a lot of work needs to be done towards making these kind of products which are required for cosmetology practice available to not only the doctors but also the patients. And one more thing that is something that is very close to, I think, my heart and Sapna's heart as well, is that we are primarily researchers. So we like to take whatever is the present practice and take it to the next level. We need to advance that. We also work towards one of the things which is very important, is working towards that society, that part of the society which does not have, even if clinics are available, they don't have the money to actually get these procedures done. So we sort of work towards even being able to make this accessible for them by providing free treatments, free consultations, and all of that. And I'm happy to say that nearly every month we have at least 4 or 5 patients that we work on who are done absolutely free of cost,
who actually have some psychological, some mental, some emotional aspect associated with the cosmetic concern that they're facing. किसी की शायद शादी नहीं हो रही है, किसी के चेहरे पे बहुत marks हैं, but they cannot afford, they cannot face the people. So we actually help those people to get rid of those things, so that and this we do free of cost.
It has been a journey even for us organizing all of this. It has been a step-by-step work that we have had to do. And I know as we began solving one problem, as I said, we needed to solve other problems, and all of that. That's how we've been trying to organize.
One important thing that we have done since the very beginning, and we always do, is one important thing is we do market research and we take a lot of feedbacks. So whenever we come across those students or those people also who are inquiring to get trained with us, or who are inquiring to get be part of Stellar, we try to understand what their concern has been in the past. Few of them would say that they are unable to maybe understand the case. They know the procedures, how to do it, but they fully don't understand. For others, for few, the concern is that they have not got enough amount of training in terms of patient exposure, in terms of seeing a lot of variety of cases. Few of them would have a concern that they have not got enough hands-on experience on the patients. Others said that they learned everything, but they are somehow having the trouble to incorporate and copy the same into their practice. Few others, when we reach further than that, we realize that they are able to start their practice, but they are not able to generate the leads. They are not able to generate the patients. Few of them are unaware that once they know the procedures, but which product to choose, which would be good for their patients, what is the cost of which product, how much they can procure it for. These are the challenges at every step which a participant or anyone would facing. And we just try and break through that barrier and give them a solution. That's how I think we are advancing with each level.
Right.
And you have amazing what we can say success stories. You have amazing success stories of different doctors. So
Yeah.
I just want to know about any story which is closest to your heart and closest to the Stellar Aesthetics main motive. Any story you
जो आप
can
कभी
tell
नहीं
us about?
भूलोगे.
So I think we recently had a student from Tanzania, And so usually what happens is the participants who come internationally, who come to us internationally for getting trained, they are a little worried, how it would be, kaisa hoga, we are paying here, hope it's worth it and all that. So we had a student from Tanzania. She was a little worried in the beginning. She was looking forward to have a good experience. She messaged it a couple of times that I hope I have a good experience, and she was a little worried. But then when she came, so I think she was very happy. Should I read out the message she sent me, because that will define it properly what she had to say. And this is what she has written, that hello Dr. Sapna, recalling the missing class plus missing you all. I have spent such an amazing time with you all, and honestly the good part was that you and Jay value each student equally, and looking forward to meet you all again. Such humbling experience from our trainees. I think that's very good, and I would very well remember each and every one of them, and how we interact. It becomes like a family.
Now, as you have trained so many doctors out there and they are doing their own procedures, you mainly operate from Mumbai. If we think about the complete India, if we think about pan India, there are still some regions, there are still so many people out there who are really skeptical about all these procedures. They think like, ab dawaiye de do, I'll be fine, but don't put any kind of injectables. I'm really scared of that. And that too on face, on head, even for a simple PRP treatment also, they have so many different kind of doubts.
Right.
Right. In this prospect, what would you like to actually say and educate people regarding it?
So see, it would usually happen, if you'll see the statistics also, even if I'll see the kind of practice I have and the kind of patients I deal with, I also see that a lot, that almost 50, or like more so in the early days, it would be like 30 to 40% of the people of all the consultations you have done would be willing to get a treatment done. And rest 50 to 60% of the patients would be saying ki kuch home care treatment de do, dawai de do, creams as you said de do. And this percentage would increase based on your consultation abilities also. The percentage of the people who would actually be willing to get a treatment done, because it comes from a place where they're putting a faith on you, they're putting a trust on you. Are they having so much of trust that they want to get the procedure done from you? That also is a little bit of margin which is there, the crowd which is based on that. And then comes the people who are really very worried and they don't want to get it done. They would not get it done like that. Both the type of crowd exists. It really depends on a consultant how much of the trust they are able to generate in their patients. And I think that's what is one of our strongest point, where we help our students very well with how to do that consultation bit also, because I think that is the first step and that should not be skipped. Everything starts from there. It doesn't start from learning the procedures. It starts from that place where the patient comes and sits in front of you. As far as patients are concerned, that yes, there are certain procedures which are invasive, and then there is an era now which we are in where all the procedures which are mostly being done are minimally invasive and non-invasive, and most of them are really very simple procedures to do. Those who are willing to get it done would read a little bit about it, ask your doctors what kind of procedure it is, solving your concerns in your mind would help to pass that phase as well. There are always going to be two kind of the clients that you will face: those who want to get the treatment done, those who don't want to get the treatment done. When I say I'm a trainer, I need to give my students the solution for both. I cannot just say ki, okay, iske liye I'm telling you, ye wale to kuch karwane wale nahi hai, or the patients are not going to do anything really, so don't really get worried about them. But as a trainer, I need to give the solution for both the things. And that is one of the points that we strongly believe at Stellar Aesthetics, is that treatments won't always come in the form of a treatment which would be done at clinic. Treatment also comes in the form of the home care therapy that you're providing to the patient. Not just once the procedure has been done, you also provide a home care therapy, which is a follow-up therapy which the patient has to follow routinely in home care even after the procedure has been done. And for those, that crowd which is not really looking forward to get a procedure done, which is looking forward to get a solution without undergoing any procedure, you have to hit them as well. You need to find out a solution for them as well. And we concentrate a lot on that aspect as well. So our home care therapy regimen, our protocols for catering those kind of clients are also there. So I think that's when you say that you can solve the entire gamut, when you really can provide solution for all sort of clients which are coming to you.
As we are talking about the credibility of doctor and that trust thing, so what do you think, how can a doctor build their trust in their patient's mind? What is the step for it?
I tell my personal experience, like whenever I'm treating any patient, or I am if, even for that matter, my trainees, they would see where they are going, because when we talk specifically about cosmetic industry, we get patients who are mostly educated, who are, because they are concerned about their looks, they are concerned about their appearance. That means they are someone who can afford to correct that as well. So when these people are coming from a place where they are able to afford the treatment, they are literate people. When they're literate people, they are going to read about you, they are going to figure out about you, and then they are going to come to visit you. So most of the patients which I get are either coming through referral, that is that word of mouth, their friends, their relatives, or some other doctor has referred them to me for the specialized treatment. They have seen about me, they have read about me, and after figuring out about my credentials, about my what I can deliver, then after that they are coming to me mostly. So I think being a doctor, it is very important to set the bars, to place it. Either you do it on your business page, you do it on your website, you do it on your social media, but the point of contact where patient is gonna contact you or touch you, at that point your credentials should be specified in clear cut manner without messing it up, so that they know where they are coming and who they are meeting. That is very, very important, because that also sets certain amount of trust. So I read it during my initial days when I was preparing for this presentation, that trust factor is very important. If your patient doesn't trust you, he is not going to hand over himself or herself to you. So that is the groundwork which is to be done.
What are the basic steps doctor can take to build that trust factor in their patient's mind?
So there has to be, I think, a proper website where they can outline about all the procedures that they are doing, and what are the kind of procedures, what are the steps, maybe in the form of the steps that would be there in the procedure, or what are the results going to be with certain amount of patient pre and post pictures that they can show, so that patient also understands that, okay, they can relate to certain condition. Okay, I have this condition, after the treatment I would look somewhat like this, something of that sort that can be done on the website. Plus they should have a good business profile, either at the WhatsApp contact number that they have, where patient would consult. Of course, social media profile of their clinic, maybe they can put it. I don't know about personal social media, that's a personal choice if they want to put it. About the clinic, yes, they should have a social media profile where they would display the routine activities that are done, how they maintain the sterilization, how their place is good, healthy, and all those things. That is important.
As somebody who's a not doctor, non-doctor, when I go to a doctor, I make sure that I'm seeing who I'm going to. Like, I will make sure that I go to their LinkedIn. I will see where they've studied, what they've studied, what is their educational background, what is their number of years that they've practiced, for example. And if along the way I stumble upon their social media, maybe their their Instagram profile or their Facebook profile, then I get an even better understanding of what kind of patients that they are used to dealing with. So having a good social media profile, having a strong social media profile, really is going to add to not just the value, that value of your business, but it's going to provide a value to your patients, because they are going to be able to see what kind of procedures you are doing, what quality you are going to give them. That's going to make it easier for us to choose you.
Perfect. So much information in this complete podcast. We'll just have last few questions, quick questions. How to actually slow down aging, and what are the signs that things are going haywire and now you need to control on it? You need to control.
Get a good doctor.
Okay, so then when you're talking about all the things which are going on in social media, I would also start with all the answers which are going on in social media. So the first is all the celebrities that you see that are talking about yoga and face exercise, which is keeping them healthy, and a healthy diet. It's not, guys, it's Botox, fillers, it's the facelifting procedures that they're doing that is keeping them healthy and good and ever beautiful. So yeah, aging is a natural process. It is going to happen over the period of time. There are a lot of factors, internal and external, that would contribute to aging. Internal factors being genetics, our body makeup and everything, and the external factors being sunlight, lifestyle, diet, the kind of food you take, all these factors, exercise, etc. All the factors are contributory factors. They can help you slow it down a little bit. Or if you're not concentrating, your aging would be faster, but then aging is going to happen sooner or later. So nowadays, which the protocols are being followed internationally as well, you should pause the aging even before it starts happening. So lot of girls and boys these days are starting anti-aging procedures in their early 20s and mid 20s, so that they can keep themselves young forever like that. So that is the best way to do it. But then, of course, if you have already crossed that phase, and if you are in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, where you have started aging, then I would recommend that start anti-aging procedures as soon as possible, so that you have to, you would require less to maintain it. अब जितना late start करोगे उतना ज़्यादा maintenance ज़्यादा होता जाएगा. So certain good retinol based creams etc are good as maintenance for night creams, for your pigmentation and skin balance etc.
I think good food is very, very important. Nutrition. I'm a big proponent of that.
Really? But is it just good food that is making you look good? Tell me that.
That I said in the beginning, get a good doctor. Right? So that's definitely
I think
important.
that's the right answer. Get a good doctor.
Get a good doctor. But definitely eating right. For example, when you were younger, you were also a lot more active. Try to maintain that level of activities. I think is also a very important factor. As I said, eating right is very important.
I think more than eating right, you need to not eat wrong. Skipping the wrong things. People would say कि हम अच्छा खाते हैं, लेकिन वो साथ में बुरा भी खाते हैं. Like certain habits like smoking really would fasten your aging. Eating a lot of sweet food, that also increases the aging process, because that's an oxidative process that is continuously happening. So avoiding junk habits is very, very important.
How many procedures are too many procedures if someone is actually going for any kind of procedure, like they are going for facelift or they're going for a normal PRP treatment, which nowadays many people are comfortable. I mean, I have my mutual friends, they are going with PRP treatments because they are almost, they're like 30 पहुंच रहे, शादी होनी बची और ये भी बच जाने चाहिए.
I understand that. Yeah.
So they are doing these PRP treatments, but there are so many different kind of procedures which even you have highlighted. So how many procedures are too many procedures that one should not even opt?
What is basically the boundary?
Yeah, I had a very good presentation on this at a conference where my topic was how much is enough. Okay, so understanding this is very, very crucial, especially for Indians. All the things that we have studied and all the protocols that we followed is basically what is being followed in Caucasian people, in the Western countries. That we just copy and we follow it. But we need to understand, I would say this to all the people who are practicing cosmetology as well, all the budding surgeons or doctors who are looking to get trained, that you need to understand that where to put a comma on it and where to put a full stop on it. Because Indian skin type is very different from the Caucasians. We are very different. The way we age is very different from the way they age. They might require a lot of fillers. They might require 5-6 syringe of fillers to make their face look tightened. We don't require that amount of filler. And if we don't understand what we require and we don't require and we just blindly copy them, we are going to end up looking artificial. So the point here is to make you look how you used to look before, when you were young, and not make you look that you are going out and people would say, oh, kuch karwaya hai. They should just say that you're looking good, you're looking decent. And you just look fresh. That is the idea. So that is where you need to put stop to it, and you just need to maintain it. So it's not about the quantity that what all procedures you are doing. It's about the quantity in general of one particular procedure and the frequency of how frequently you are doing.
Okay, what advice you would like to give to use social media effectively for all the dermatologists and plastic surgeons on social media? Because nowadays they are not that comfortable using it, because they have some different queries, like they cannot share patients' pictures, they cannot share the treatment pictures because that looks a little different and people cannot actually absorb it on social media. They can actually absorb it in the clinic, but they cannot absorb it on social media. That is the reason they don't feel that हमें उतना एक्टिव रहना चाहिए और ये सब चीजें इतने दिखानी चाहिए. So what would you like to suggest?
So I think there's a key to everything, and the key to for any plastic surgeon, cosmetic surgeon, or a dermatologist to use social media would go in a way that please don't show anything where you're doing things with and stuff with blood, or you're pricking someone, or you're doing certain procedure where your patient is making weird expressions or the patient is uncomfortable, because that is the impression that you're leaving on the upcoming patients which are going to come to you in future. I see a lot of doctors posting a lot of big surgery pictures and stuff. I don't think that's a very good idea to post. Yes, you should post before and after pictures to show the results. For example, if you have done some nose surgery where the nose was crooked before, or the nose was deviated before, and then you have corrected it and now the nose look good, you can show the before and after pictures, of course with the consent of the patient. Again, you can inform your patients or your potential audience about certain procedures. You can give them information, you can give them routine healthcare tips, etc. So there are a lot of ways in which it can be used effectively.
I think it's as important part of their work as their procedures. Coming from a technology background, for example, we might not be showing how many hours we put into the code. We will not show you the code, but we will show you the end result. So that's what I think doctors should be doing, is that they should be putting out their the final results, because that's what the patient is looking for. If you can get a good social media team, that is what I would recommend, because in a regular day's job, it is very difficult to be able to put in that much of time, and it's understandable. And just like you are an expert at your field, maybe you are good at doing a certain procedure or doing certain you're able to practice medicine like that. It's better to hand it out to a specialist who can handle that for you. Mm-hmm. So I would recommend that get yourself a social media team. Doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be a big team. Get started somewhere.
It is all about
what
the
do you
process.
think about choosing a social media team? Because what I think, to work in a healthcare sector, you must have that knowledge of healthcare sector. Like many of our clients do post some kind of testimonials or some kind of before after transformation thing. But what we suggest our clients to have a consent signed from that particular patient that we are sharing your transformational journey. So what do you think, what kind of social media team doctor should choose?
It's a difficult task actually to figure out a good team. We have come across a lot of teams, and we were not happy with a couple of them as well, because most of them were not aware about what is going on actually with what are we doing and what are the kind of results that we are expecting. So if the team is not good, if they don't understand the kind of work you're doing, if maybe they come from maybe working in general in some different industry altogether, so they would not really be very much aware, and you'll have to give a lot of your time in that. So that, instead of reducing, it adds up to the overall work. Choose your niche specific social media team. Choosing that is very, very important.
I would say that, like I said, go to the specialist. Like when you want to go get a heart surgery done, you don't go to a general surgeon, you go to a cardiac specialist, right? Mm-hmm. So just like that, you go to the specific person who can actually handle or who has handled that kind of work before. So that is very important. Choosing a specialist for your field is very, very important, like for your social media as well. So I would say just go after people who have done that kind of work before, who have enough work to show you. It makes your job easier, just to choose them, because you don't have to figure out whether they can or cannot do. You know that they have done this before. So that is the way to choose that.
Our next follow-up question for this is, when you were actually, searching people to fulfill your project for Stella Aesthetic, and then Vishal landed up in Dr. Sapnna's LinkedIn, then how come you thought, we'll just go forward with these guys rather than other guys? What made you think that we should work with them?
So I think it started with me having a conversation with Vishal, and then I immediately told him that I would want you guys to have a meeting with Jay, because he is the one who understands the technical aspect very well. I come from a medical background, that is my strong point, and he comes from a technical background where he has knowledge about this entire business as to how it works. So I feel that that is the positive point which I had on my side. That is him who was able to understand your talent, because he comes from this field. And here comes one more important point, that when we talk about medicos, they usually lack this knowledge, the business knowledge. Because we are not taught in our college that how to manage a business or how to run a clinic. We just know how to do procedures. But uske aage piche, managing accounts, managing business, understanding profit loss, it takes years for us to understand that through our journey. Over the years, when we look back, we would understand, okay, isse humko ye seekhne ko mila. But already wo seekhne ko nahi milta hai, saalon lag jate hain. I had that advantage on my side, and he exactly knew what the market is, how things are going, what is required, what is needed. So I think he would be able to answer it in a better way, that what made him choose you guys.
I think I've already told you that. I mean, one of the few people that I have met, who understand funnels, who understand the process of, a customer's journey. It's very important. The same way as for a patient's journey, right? How they have come to see you first, and as they come to know more about you, what goes on, and then finally up at your clinic or at your place of work, and then finally choosing whether they want to go for you or not for their final decision. That understanding that is very important. That's something that I saw with you, both you guys. Where when I was having that conversation, you understood funnels, you understood what should be the process, and you had that very streamlined. And when you showed me what you were actually going to do for us, I realized that I think that you guys are the absolute, the first choice that I should have, and just discard everyone else. That's something that has happened very rarely. But I think it is.
Yeah, he rarely likes, some people. So it's very rare with him that he would actually want to go ahead with someone like that.
Because I'm like, I mean, if you're not sure, don't do it.
Yeah.
Might as well wait it out until you're sure.
So I see one more factor in you guys, which I would relate to both of us as well, that you have a lot of passion towards what you are doing. You love what you do, and that is very important. You can the best only comes out when you actually are in love with your work. So because you are ready to explore more, you're ready to figure out more options, you are ready to give your best, and more than that. That actually comes when you are really passionate about your work. And we see that in you guys as well. Apart from, like, I see that in him, he sees that in me, and we see that in you. Yeah. So that is also one more factor.
I would 100% agree.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Even we find that the synergy and the vibe matched. So we were also eager to, work with you and make complete thing from scratch, because even you are also scaling up. And even we wanted to support, and we wanted to be in that team where we can actually make something, and then that goes up and scales up, and everybody grows gradually.
Very
true.
Very
true. We believe in the same philosophy.
Absolutely.
So even we saw your vision of scaling and training so many doctors within a certain period of time, which of course you'll be reaching in your first anniversary of Stella Aesthetics. So even that motivated us ki chalo kuch banate hain inke liye, which will actually make things automated and which will help them out in the complete journey. So
and fingers crossed for that.
I think you hit a very, very strong point, automation, right? So that's something that I think is absolute must in today's day and age, because cost of humans is very high. So it's better to go on some kind of automation, right? So that's something that, again, I was very happy with you guys, that you guys understood automation. You knew how to use it. You knew where you wanted to use it, which is a very important technical understanding that I also come from. So I have an understanding of, which you guys understood really well, which is rare in social media teams. They don't understand that. They'll just put 20 people to work on it. It just ups your cost, and it doesn't really give you the results. But it's about the right kind of person, the right kind of automation tools, and you guys are at it, man. You guys are awesome.
Perfect. You guys are awesome. That is the reason we are awesome.